Hi guys, Playtendo Guy here, and today I've been exploring tombs, shooting loads of bad guys, and the occasional zombie to bring you today's review of Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4. Enjoy! The whole exclusive deal over Rise of the Tomb Raider being on Xbox consoles for a year has been one that has been met by controversy and anger by PlayStation fans, but now nearly a year after the original launch of Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's finally making its way to PS4 with a load of bonus content to boot. But can Lara Croft make herself heard in a post-Uncharted world? Let's find out. The game's main plotline picks up not too long after the reboot and tells the tale of Lara and her obsession of a discovery which drove her father mad, the Divine Source. In true Indiana Jones' fashion, this treasure promises the use of immortality, so Lara sets out on the lost city of Katesh to retrieve it. Obviously, she isn't the only one who wants it. A shady organisation called Trinity follows Lara's every move to try and retrieve it before her. Add in a lost civilization stuck in the middle of it, and you've got a predictable but enjoyable story that does offer plenty of twists. Gameplay-wise, it's pretty much business as usual for those who have played the 2013 reboot. Set in the semi-open world of Siberia, you travel from area to area, climbing, exploring and shooting to the game's ending. Climbing and exploring is as good as ever, with some incredibly fun intense climbing moments, while most of the time you can guess when the structure is going to break is still pretty exhilarating. There are also new ways to climb and get to higher ground thanks to new equipment and abilities that open up later in the game. Another big part of the gameplay is the shooting sections, and while it still feels a bit floaty, it is nevertheless still fun, but I would still say Uncharted is king of the combat department. Combat is by no means a slouch, there's plenty of variety of the 4 weapons on offer, and the ability to make explosives on the go help to spice up the combat. You can also take a stealth approach, which also works quite well. As you go through the game, you earn points every time you level up, and you can use these points to upgrade Lara and give her new skills. Some of these vary from giving her new materials when searching dead enemies to taking far less damage when fallen. Also add the fact that you can upgrade Lara's weapons. You have plenty to tinker with, and by the end of the game she'll end up feeling like a female Rambo, which is as fun as it sounds. As you go through the main game, Lara will gain new weapons and items quite often throughout the game, and these items can be used to revisit old areas in Metroid-like style to gain access to previously unreachable areas, collectibles and missions, which is ace. The main game will take around 10 to 15 hours to reach the conclusion, but don't let that put you off as there's plenty more to do. The semi-open world of Siberia is massive compared to the original. Areas feel much more larger with way more collectibles to find, extra missions to complete and items to craft. There's plenty to do once the credits roll, which turns a 10 to 15 hour game into a 30 plus hour game. Searching for collectibles isn't as hard as it sounds, as Lara has her very own version of Batman's detective mode. The survival instincts will highlight anything of interest, whether it's collectibles, bodies to loot, places to climb, and characters. It does become a bit of a habit tapping the survival instinct button all of the time, taking away a bit of the discovery element. It wouldn't be a Tomb Raider game without any tombs, and there's plenty of optional tombs to explore this time. These start off pretty simple and easy, and the difficulty ramps up and features some really fiendish puzzles to solve. Level design in these tombs are brilliant, and Crystal Dynamics have certainly got a taste for some brilliant puzzles. Once you've completed the main game, there's plenty of extra content to play through. There's the Expedition mode, which replaces the multiplayer of the original. With this mode you go through levels of the game as quickly as perfect as possible while trying to get a high score. It's a fun little mode, and while I do miss the competitive multiplayer, this is a good substitute. There's also cards you can use with expedition levels to make the game easier, harder, and even some with humorous effects, like a big head mode. You get plenty of these cards when you start the game, and you gain extras as you go through the campaign. But if you want more, you'll have to buy them via microtransactions, but you shouldn't need to because you do get plenty of them just by playing normally. As this is titled the 20th Anniversary Edition, there's plenty of extras in the game. First off, you have all the previously released DLC, such as the Fun of Short Baba Yaga and the Cold Darkness Awaken campaigns, and the Endurance mode, which is an interesting and enjoyable fight for survival in harsh conditions. There is also quite a fair bit of new content for this PS4 edition, with the previously mentioned Endurance mode now playable online with another player. There is also 2 new campaigns in Blood Ties and Lara's Nightmare. Blood Ties is set in Croft Manor after the death of Lara's father, and you spend most of the time wandering around the now deteriorated Croft Manor, looking around the manor for her father's will, so it's like a treasure hunt with a few puzzles and the like thrown in. But its story is pretty good, offering fans a good insight into Lara's past and the Croft family as a whole. Then there's the Lara's Nightmare mode, which is also set in Croft Manor, but this time it's invaded by zombies. It's a strange setup, certainly, but it's a fun little time waster going around the manor killing zombies. There are also plenty of skins for Lara, including retro skins from the first Tomb Raider games on PS1 and PS2, and while they do look a bit out of place, it's quite funny and fans will certainly like it. Presentation-wise, the game looks stunning. Whether it's the opening chapter set in Syria or exploring the snowy wastelands of Siberia, everything looks incredibly lifelike. Character models also look great, and while they're not as detailed as Uncharted 4, they still offer plenty of expressions. Oh, and Lara's hair still looks like it's got a life of its own. And while there isn't really much difference between this and the Xbox One version in terms of graphics, there is support for the PS4 Pro, which promises to improve performance and upscale the game to 4K. Conclusion time now, and I give Rise of the Tomb Raider for the PS4 a 9.5 out of 10. While the wait for the game has been one of frustration, it has ultimately paid off with a brilliant game jam-packed full of content. Its main game is fantastic with its semi-open world that's full of secrets and places to explore, its brilliant exploration system, and the really fun side modes and campaigns. And while many folks will write this off because of Uncharted 4, in all honesty I think people will look back at this game and say it's just as good as Uncharted 4. Because you know what? It is. The game is a must-buy. Thank you for watching my review. Like, rate and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.